Good evening, everyone. Suffolk Cram.
Skazz.
Welcome to episode 266 of the Randos podcast. The podcast is
66.
Yeah, the podcast is sort of holding itself together, I hope, because things like it's always that scary moment when you like change things and you think, am I going to break everything now? Everything that was just about everybody's PC is like just basically a set of like stacked decks of cards. Everything just works. You've got to just set it right, and you just hope you don't touch it for further whole thing falling down, and then you set up something new, and it all collapses, and you will have this moment of So fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's like every time we record something.
Yeah. So fingers crossed this is behaving itself. But the good news is I can see stuff is coming through to YouTube, so I think we're good. I think.
That's dangerous.
How you been in Skazz?
Alive. Well, not really feeling alive, but alive. Gaming can die in a fire.
Not tempted by the Oblivion remaster?
Oh, don't get me started on that, son. Don't get me started. Someone said to me the other day, oh yeah, man, I'm going to be like streaming an RPG. I hadn't done one of these in ages. Oh yeah, what are you going to be playing? Oblivion. I'm like, wow, okay. You're going back. They're like, going back? I was like, yeah, that fucking thing's ancient, isn't it? And they're like, no, it's only come out recent.
Do they not?
Like, Bethesda's Oblivion. And they're like, yeah, Oblivion.
Do they not know what the word remaster means?
Look, to them, it's like a new... it was a new thing.
I mean, it's literally in the title.
Yes, but you can go Final Fantasy VII Remake, it may as well be a different game.
We see it's a remaster because they've cleverly, well, I say cleverly, somehow shunted together Unreal Engine and the original Oblivion engine, but I think it's called Game Boy, something like that, I think it's called. So the game runs on the Oblivion engine underneath, but the graphics are all done by the Unreal Engine. That's why it looks pretty, but still runs like the old game.
I will pass, thank you. I will pass. It's Bethesda, and it's like I've said before, right? I don't get on with Bethesda's first-person RPGs, whether it be like Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout. Anything like that, to be fair, which was one of the initial things that almost put me off Cyberpunk. Because I'm sorry, Skyrim sucks. Right, Bethesda can't make a good game to save their damned lives. Admittedly, the physics is all right, I suppose, to a point. Like, as in, you can interact with a load of stuff, unlike most new games where everything's nailed to a table. But just. The game sucks.
See, I preferred Oblivion to Skyrim. I did enjoy Skyrim. I put a terrifying amount of hours into Skyrim.
I agree with you on that one.
I just think my issue with Skyrim was it was very, very grey everywhere. Oblivion had some colour to it, and I preferred. Gameplay wise, if it was I think the gameplay was better in Skyrim, but I preferred Oblivion's world.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I mean, I remember when I first played Oblivion, I really enjoyed it. Up until I came up with a random bug where I got vampirism. I've told this story a million times. I got vampirism, and because at the time I was playing it on console, I got vampirism, and there was a bug whereby the woman who gives you the quest that takes you to the cure for vampirism attacks you. And then you can't actually complete the quest to get the cure for vampirism. So do you know how Bethesda fixed it?
I don't actually. I think you've told me before, but I can't remember what you said.
DLC!
Oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
There was a paid DLC with the cure to vampirism in it. Because they knew it was that much of a bollock and that their game was that broken. Now on PC, you just go do it console and you've got the thing, but...
the joys of PC. Or that one time I was like, there's a door locked in front of me. I just cannot be fucked to go all the way back up to get some keys. Console, click door, unlock. Thank you.
Nailed it. Oh, the boss is in the way. I'll just kill that.
I've done that before as well. I've slogged through a dungeon. Like, I just cannot be asked to deal with this person. Die.
God mode.
There's just more just to go
I'm
there.
fucking on the 7th day, console rested.
My favourite one was set essential, and because Oblivion had a setting called essential, which means that the characters who would like die but they just go unconscious and come back. That was just this essential flag, and it was just a binary flag, yes or no. And so the adoring fan who I didn't like, I could de-essential him, so I set him essential to 0 and you could kill him. But then you could just bring him back anyway. I also had sheep in my house because I wanted some sheep and I wanted them inside my house. So I used a console to spawn sheep inside my house and they just wandered around the house for me.
There you go.
You see?
I can't remember the ending to that one. I remember, like, you had to... There were 3... Like, you had the people who were, like, deities, weren't they? And you had, like, the son, the daughter, or whatever, and then the guy.
Never got that far.
And I
only ever played all this. I did all the side quests. I did all the sort of like Dark Brotherhood, that sort of stuff. By that point, I was like, yeah, I've had my fill of this now. So I never played the main quest.
Okay. I
got to the bit where you rescue, is it Martin, the Emperor's son, and you rescue him from like a Abbey, I think it is. This is a long time ago, and that was the last main quest I played in the game.
All right. To be honest with you, I don't remember. I know that.
Same with Skyrim. I've never completed the main. I've never made the main quest of Skyrim.
Skyrim just.
Skyrim, I do think mechanically, I think Skyrim was better. However, I think Skyrim, Bethesda sort of relied on the fact that Bethesda sort of got, when Oblivion came out, it was like very buggy stuff. Everybody sort of like gave a bit of a pass because it's like, oh, it's Bethesda. But I think Skyrim, they sort of like leaned into that too much. Where it's like, this parts just aren't finished. But it's okay, people forgive us because we're Bethesda and they like our buggy games.
There are still bugs in the like, the re-release Skyrim, like Skyrim Enhanced or whatever it is. There are still bugs in that were in the vanilla game.
Yeah, I can believe it.
I was fucking horrified.
I could totally believe it.
I was like, come on, guys, this is a well-reported bug. Bethesda are the same assholes that said to me, oh, yeah, I said, yeah, I get better performance on a single graphics card than on my Crossfire setup. And they said, oh, yeah, so our team has come up with a fix for you. Just remove one of your graphics cards. And I was like,
was it Skyrim that had the, what was it, Oblivion that had the bug with the RAM? It couldn't like register more. If it had more, it basically couldn't go above like 16 gigs of RAM. Was that so?
I don't remember. I'm going to say Oblivion because that's really old.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I have a feeling that Oblivion had like a bug where basically because the way it used it registered stuff in RAM, it just couldn't address anything too high because it was using not enough bits.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old 32-bit first 64.
Yeah, old Bethesda, you sweethearts, just stop it.
I won't lie.
Stop it.
I am tempted to get the Oblivion remaster, but I might wait for it to go on sale before I pick it up.
Right, I'm not gonna lie. Right, Morrowind, that was fun because you could just break it in an instant. Yes. Oblivion was kind of fun, minus the you've got vampirism, and then it's a bug and horse armor DLC. It was all right. The ending was absolutely terrible. I remember being so strong I ended up boxing out the boss. Well, one of the bosses, or someone who I thought was a boss. Like, oh yeah, we're the big bad deities, and it's like, oh yeah, cool, fucking smack him in the face, and he just went down like a cheap hooker. I was like, wow, okay.
To be honest,
unexpected.
You say that, but that makes it sound amazing and brilliant to me. The fact that you can just get so overpowered, I was like, yep, fuck you, and I win. That just sounds amazing. It's not
supposed to, because it's supposed to scale. It was just so anticlimactic. Well, to be fair, the whole game was anticlimactic to me. I was like, oh, is that it?
Yeah.
You've been setting this up for ages. I quite like the Oblivion gates because I cheat. You know how I sequence break things?
Yeah.
I did that a lot in Oblivion. That was kind of fun. But yeah, then I went to, like I said, when I played, Skyrim was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me. That and Fallout fucking 4. Well, Fallout 3 was terrible as well, but just when they said, oh yeah, just pull the graphics card, just pull the graphics card. You'll get, if your performance is better with one graphics card, just use one graphics card. It's like, dude, I'm not fucking ripping out one graphics card just to play your fucking game. He says as he then goes out and buys an AMD 7970 when they came out.
Yes.
So I was like, hey, I can finally play Skyrim. Oh, this game sucks. And that was that. But I say that though, but I own Skyrim on loads of different platforms, as is often the case. I hate a game and I buy it on loads of different things just to see if one day it'll click.
That seems like a fool's errand to me.
It's never clicked.
No, I'm not surprised.
Hasn't clicked. The one on the Switch was okay. Kind of.
Yeah. But
I'd love, like I still said though, I'd love to run that game in VR. Put me on an Omni and just let me run that motherfucker in VR, and I'd be happy as a pig in shit.
Yeah, agreed. Likewise, I was tempted to pick up the VR version, but I sort of objected to paying for the game again for the VR version. It was like, well, it's still mainly the base game. It's just they've added VR support. That to me should have been like DLC or
Yeah.
This shouldn't be something that you need to buy the whole game. The whole game needs to be bought again to run. It's like, well, no, you've just added a new character that model system into the game. This shouldn't be how it works.
I think I own it I think I own the VR version. I don't remember buying it, but yeah, I might do.
You own the VR version on multiple platforms somehow.
Probably.
I own the
VR version on Super Nintendo.
I was going to say Game Boy Advance, but yes, you will somehow own it on Game Boy Advance.
Best version of Skyrim ever. It's the only good version of Skyrim. So I was like, wait, was there a version of Skyrim? I don't fucking know, but I must own it.
There's always a version of Skazz on everything.
Yeah. Oh god, Bethesda, please stop. I was going to say, like, stop milking Skyrim. It's like, well, now we're going to start milking Oblivion.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, cool.
Bethesda's got a big barn of gaming cows.
Yeah, gonna milk them dry.
Yeah,
milk them dry. I don't know what the spec requirements are for Oblivion remastered.
70 gigs of VRAM.
Patrick Stewart at the start.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Patrick Stewart, who's like, they got Patrick Stewart, but they also couldn't afford him.
He carks it.
Yeah, they can also could afford him for like 6 lines.
Like, well, that goes half of our budget. See you, Patty.
Have you ever seen the Skyrim? The Oblivion making of documentary?
No. Well, I might have done. But if I have, I'd probably been about a million years ago.
There's a bit where it just shows how he makes Oblivion, and there's a bit where one of the team has gone to wherever Patrick Stewart lives to record his audio. They've recorded
Who's gone to Patrick Stewart's house because they can't get Patrick Stewart in the studio?
Although, they've got to like a studio local to him. They've recorded his audio. They've got his audio. They've because he does on the sort of intro. He does that dialogue over the intro where it's like he sort of talks about it. Then as he sort of says, it's the end of my last day of my life or something like that. Then the music also blursts in. Also like crescendos in. Blursts in. And so
that's the best kind of transition of blurst.
Yeah. So I was watching this thing, and they literally load it up in front of everybody the first time with this music, with this bit. They literally play it. This scene, the first time they've heard Patrick Stewart's voice. They've always had placeholder before, and so as soon as he starts speaking, you can see every one of these middle-aged nerdy men having an orgasm. Because they've got Patrick Stewart
voicing. Time.
Yeah, because they've got Patrick Stewart voicing their game. They all go, oh! It is such a funny scene.
Amazing.
It is amazing.
Well, let's have a look. Oblivion. I need to see Oblivion remaster. He's
Googling.
Hang on. I just want to see if I've got Skyrim VR as well. Skyrim. Getting rimmed by the... Yeah, I do.
Of course you do.
I own Skyrim VR.
Of course you do.
fuck's sake. Oblivion Remastered. Let's have a look. Okay. What we got? What specs have we got so I can listen to Patrick Stewart in all of his glory again? Off Steam Deck verified. Let's go Steam Deck green tick. Fuck off. That would look like fucking potato, mate.
The thing is, they got better in mind.
It would look like original fucking Oblivion. Is that what they do? The Oblivion Remastered. Yes, it's Steam Deck verified. They just take all of the Unreal stuff off of it and you just play in the base game.
Well, I suppose it's still running the base engine underneath, so it's just the graphical bit on top that's the fancy part. And if you've got
wow, the requirements on that recommended is dog shite. 3600X, that's weaker than what I've got in a 5-year-old PC. Graphics card is a potato. 32 gigs of RAM?
You've got to store the location. You've got to store the location of those paintbrushes somewhere.
Oh, no, you have a fair point. You have a fair point. All the stuff you've nicked.
Yeah.
All right. Christ almighty. 32 gigs of RAM? I need half of that for my Chrome tabs.
Well, there.
Now I know why your PC costs so much RAM.
Yeah, it's all the RAM.
You looked at the Oblivion specs and were like, well, shit, man, I need to have Chrome open and Oblivion.
Yeah.
So I need 64 gigs of RAM at least.
Is it the general rule of thumb is it's 1 gig per tab, I believe.
Thereabouts. It's starting to push for about 1.2 gig per tab. But...
Well, I think when you go into, if you go like to buy like a laptop or something, they'll say, how many tabs do you plan to have open on Chrome? Or at least 20.
Because this machine's only got 8 gigs folded in.
Yeah. Well, this 16 gig machine won't do you, I'm afraid. You better go get it for the 32 one.
Fucking 32 on a laptop. Living the dream there, mate.
It'll happen someday. I'm sure they exist.
No, in fairness, one of mine's got buckets of RAM in it. Actually, funny enough, the one in front of me's got 32 gigs of RAM in it.
There you go. So why are you being so critical of?
Well, because my processor's shite in this one. Oh, poor little laptop. I've got the RAM to play the game, but nothing else.
But once it's loaded into the RAM, it's going to be somewhat moving.
To be fair, I could go over there to the nice PC, and even then I'd go, oh shit, you've saturated my RAM.
Yeah.
Oh no. But I need to open up a browser.
I wonder
no.
if the game is literally just the same engine underneath, and it's translating through to Unreal. I wonder if you could load your characters from the original Oblivion into it, like find the character file.
That would be hilarious.
Because in theory, I suppose it's how much the graphics interact with it, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But in theory, the file, it's just the character file is just part. If the game engine is the same, it should understand the character the same.
But here's the problem, though. Look, think of this. If it's still running the original guts, but it's just the graphics being handled by this new layer on top. What a fucking hog! For bells and whistles.
Yeah. I think that's
fucking yeah. About a week ago, you'd have gone, oh, fuck that. He gets himself a new PC, and now at like any game, oh yeah, mate, you need like 64 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
You need to have a PC that'll give you a blowy every fucking 5 minutes, and RAM's like, I don't give a fuck, mate, I'm great.
How do you know I got that attachment?
You know what I mean? It's like, but I don't know. That's just the way it is. When you got, generally speaking, when people have got the specs, they just go, well, fuck the peasants.
Well, exactly. Why has your PC got a milking machine tied to via USB? Well,
yeah, the USB milking machine. Wow, I made it myself. Proper industrial look and some of the worst soldering I've ever seen in my life.
To be fair, the general principles behind milking machine are very simple and basic. It's not exactly complicated. It's a vacuum pump and some controllers. It's not exactly
running that off of a USB port. Are you crazy?
Well, it doesn't have to be a powerful vacuum pump.
Well, yeah, I suppose.
You know, we're not like industrial. You don't want to suck the cow through the underclothes. You don't want the cow just to go.
Well, why not?
And disappear between.
Get mince at the end of it.
It's like, oh, I guess the vacuum was too high on that one. What happened
Watch some
to
pancakes.
what happened to your herd, Mr. Jones? Oh yeah, unfortunately, I bought one of those new fancy, powerful vacuum pumps. They all got sucked through the machine and turned into
Fancy,
milk.
powerful Nicktopia brand fucking.
Well, we're going to talk about Nicktopia later.
Oh Christ! City Skylines 2 by any chance?
No.
One?
No.
SimCity?
No. This is a small scale Nicktopia.
Small scale Nicktopia.
I've been playing a game.
No fucking way.
I know.
Bullshit. He
Yeah.
buys a new PC and he's been playing games. Fuck off,
I've been
Ram.
playing a game
You've been... No, you haven't. You've been looking... Have you got etched glass on the side? You've been looking at the glass.
I haven't got H class on the side because I chose a case that didn't have this. What I didn't realise though was a case that I knew it had a vent in the top. What I didn't realise is with the fans I ordered were RGB fans. So I do look so I've got glowing RGB fans in the top. And I think the reason I ordered them was that they were like slightly cheaper than the non-RGB version. So the same sort
You don't understand. It's just turn it off.
Oh, it's got to go to setting and find it, haven't I? But
It's the same thing with the wall. My mate, the wall does the same thing. Fucking RGB. It's fucking everywhere. I don't want RGB. And I can remember and I always scream at him, just turn it off. Right? I walked into a computer shop in town, north side of town, and this bloke's like, he was talking to the bloke who owns the shop, and he's like, yeah, mate, I want it to be like a proper sleeper machine, so I don't want any of that like RGB stuff or anything. I don't want it like rainbowing out. And I'm sat there like wanting to scream at the guy, and the bloke behind the counter just goes, just turn it off.
yeah.
And I was like, thank you. Like, insanity is contagious. Turn it off!
The good thing about the fans though is that because they blow straight up, this all bounces around the desk and it acts like a nice cooler for my legs.
He's just sat there with his nuggets just pressed against the fucking side of the
no
fucking
word of a
computer.
lie, the first night I had this machine on, I was in my pyjamas and I actually got cold. I had to go turn the heating up because I was getting cold sat next to the machine because it was just this constant airflow over.
Have you got water cooling then on it to make it that cool? Or what?
I don't like water cooling. I don't trust water cooling.
You don't, yeah, you're the same as me. I haven't even bothered going an all-in-one. I just straight out air cooling all the way. If you do it right, you don't need to.
Yeah, this is all air cooled and it's not running hot at all. So it's like you don't need water cooling. I just don't trust water cooling. I don't trust liquids near my electronics. I know used to steel, which is not like conductive or but I don't trust it. No one ever heard of a fan leaking. You know, you never came home one day and found your fan spread across the floor because it's leaked out the side of your PC and salt made everything wet. That doesn't happen. And everything,
reckon somewhere it has.
unless they've spun so fast, it disintegrates into atoms and have laid a fine film over your entire room. That's
not liquid. It's not leaked. That's not leaked. That ain't leaked.
No, exactly. That's
just disintegrated. It's different.
Yeah. So
water doesn't just disintegrate out of the side of your cooler. The cooler disintegrates and the water comes out.
Yeah. So yeah, no, but yeah, it's all fan cooled. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 fans in it.
The best thing is, right, this is one thing I love about Ram, right? I've known this guy for fucking years. Not once has he ever been able to tell you what is actually in his PC. No. It's fucking hilarious. The dude we went to university together for computer science. Dude has no fucking clue. It's the same as one of my other mates. He works as a fucking...
I've got an AMD.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. He's a software engineer and a fucking web developer. Yeah, what spec's your rig, mate? I don't know. Like, dude, fuck, come on. That's the kind of thing I expect from, like, I don't know, when we were like 12. Yeah, what's your computer got in it? Oh, mate, my graphics card is amazing. What is it? Oh, it's an AMD Sapphire. Yeah, what? Oh, Sapphire, mate.
It's because
fucking way better than yours, isn't it?
It's the true of most things in my life. I care about them whilst I'm buying them and getting them sorted. But once I've bought it, it's like, well, I've sorted it out. That information can get deleted.
To be fair, you didn't even give a shit whilst you were buying it. Let's be honest, because you were talking to me about it, and I was sat there going, yeah. You still had no idea. You had to look up the shit on the site.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I couldn't tell you what size engine I've got in my car. I think it's a 1.5. I'm not 100% sure.
The trouble is, though, Ram, the idea of that comparison doesn't really work, given that a car only has to hit 70 miles an hour. Whereas a PC, specs are important,
I spent,
Because if you actually want the thing to work, like for example, he's bought. Let's say he buys Stalker 2, and then he buys a processor that's like 2 generations old, and it doesn't run Stalker 2. It's like, had you have actually thought of that?
you don't realise, but I did what I said whilst I was designing it. I did do a lot of time spending time doing research. It's just as soon as I've done it, I can delete that information because it's no longer relevant.
Sure.
So okay. I spent quite some time planning out the spec. Then as soon as I thought, it's like, order. It's like, I don't need that information anymore now because I've done it. Delete.
There you go.
Delete. I frequently clear my cache. That's all I say.
He spec'd that up with on the pre-build list, and he's like, yeah, that one will do. Fuck it.
No, I didn't. I didn't use a pre-build at all. There's like a base machine you work on that you upgrade all different parts and stuff. I had to work from that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You went pre-build and then just went for the drop-down menu.
Yeah, I basically just upgrade everything.
Even the motherboard?
Yep.
Fucking hell.
I've got
a Did you go for a B650 or higher?
I went for a gigabyte something with Wi-Fi. The motherboard I mainly picked because I wanted enough USBs on it. I basically went through and said, well, who's got the most USBs on it? Okay, it's got plenty of USBs, and we'll go for that one.
Okay.
Well, but I need the USBs.
Dude, get to Nicktopia. Just get to Nicktopia. Dude, no, just get on with it.
So obviously, with my new machine, I wanted to really push it. So the first thing I did was play.
Cool.
So the first thing I did was I played a game from 3 years ago. The
best thing I thought was the first thing you streamed on it was Heroes of Hammer Watch. I was like, fucking hell. Go on. Hey. What you played, mate, 3 years ago? What was it?
So I played a game called Stranded: Alien Dawn, which it's on your wish list. But then everything's on your wish list. Doesn't really say anything.
Entirety of Steam's on my wish list, mate.
Yeah, but Barbie's Horse Adventure is on your wish list.
It is, and Animals of Farthing Wood. Mate, I've got fucking games I don't even know exist that are on my wish list.
Animals of Farthing Wood, my god, that's a long time since I thought about that TV show.
No, it was a game.
There was a game for Animals of Farthing Wood?
Yeah, there was a game. Me and Chalky played it. We couldn't find Badger, so we've come to the conclusion that Badgers don't exist because we couldn't find him.
Oh, wait.
So Badgers don't exist. That's just like some kind of like fever dream, mate. Badgers aren't real.
As a child, I loved Animals of Farthing Wood.
The trouble is, it's part French.
Yeah, well, that's all right. There was a magazine you could get, and I had the magazine. You had posters in the middle. You used to have all the posters up on my wall because I loved Animals of Farthing Wood.
To be fair, I used to draw Animals of Farthing Wood back in the day, so I actually used to be quite good at drawing.
Yeah.
I was quite arty, and at one point I was actually allowed to draw on my bedroom walls because like all the paint and wallpaper had been taken off, and so the first thing I decided to do was just draw all Animals of Farthing Wood characters all over the walls.
Oh, did they get painted over or wallpapered over?
So actually it stayed there until we moved out, and then the next family, I think, just wallpapered over it.
But that means that someone's going to move that wallpaper one day and get a lovely surprise.
Yeah. Animals of Farthing Wood, that was a great show.
The game about Animals of Farthing Wood is basically Game of Thrones to children because the cats...
It's so depressing at times. When I look back at some of that, I was like, oh no.
The hedgehogs, when the hedgehogs got run over, that was traumatic.
When they're going over the dual carriageway.
Yeah, that was so traumatic.
The voles got caught in the fire, didn't they?
I think so, yes. And
the mice got done in the field with all the poison.
Yeah. Lots of things died in that game.
Oh my god!
It's like, as long as Fox, Finch, and Badger survive, I'll be happy. I can survive. I can't cope with the rest. I cope with the rest dying, but those three survive. I'll be happy.
They didn't.
They didn't. Again, it's a series I never finished.
They didn't.
When did Fox die?
It was heartbreaking. They didn't.
Did Fox die? I don't remember Fox died.
I believe he did.
Was that after they got to White Deer Park?
Yeah, they got to White Deer Park. Yeah. And then there's a whole nother section of the Animals of Farthing Wood trying to integrate into White Deer Park, and the animals there killing the Animals of Farthing Wood. And
I remember. I remember right because I think they moved it when it used to be on like the TV. So I sort of like disappeared. I lost it. I couldn't find out where it gone, so I didn't know.
So I think Badger's definitely gone. I believe Molly's gone. I'm not entirely sure about Fox. I'm going to say yes because every fucker else is dead. Or it might be Fox's son. Either way, characters die in that show. It's actually quite soul crushing when you're a bit older and you go, "Oh mate, my favourite character's dead."
Oh.
No.
I wonder how much Farming Wood. I really want to rewatch Animals of Farthing Wood now.
Yeah, you should. But by the way, there was a game, and I was a grown-ass man at the time. I weren't. I was, some age or whatever. And me and Chalky are playing it. We couldn't find Badger, and so it was like a point and click.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like how you have them kind of sarky comments, like when you click something and it doesn't work. And it's like, well, go find Badger. And we're like, where the fuck is he? We've gone everywhere we could possibly see.
Is this a generation of games where, like, game designers like, this is a game that's going to be aimed for children. Okay, we'll make it insanely hard. For no good reason.
For us it was. I was like, what the fuck is... Because if you didn't do it fast enough, the fucking... You know the bits that they show in the intros of Animals of Farthing Wood where the fucking cement mixers are pouring over Farthing Wood and you see like the splashes of cement and shit? That happens in the game and you're like, oh no, Fox! And he's gone, mate. He became a little Fox statue.
Oh my word.
And I'm like, oh shit. And so we just assumed, because we couldn't find Badger, like, the Badgers don't exist. They're not real.
Skazz, all I'm saying is, 24-hour live stream.
No fucking, we gotta play Animals of Farthing Wood.
Because if Saber does come out for that, he's gonna be so confused. It's gonna be amazing.
Mate, I'm in. I'm cool with that.
Yes, that's what we're going to play.
And that'll probably be the only game we play. But the trouble is, if we find Badger, you've got to make sure. I've got to keep this going. I've been going for like nearly 20 years, 30 years doing this one. You guys have got to make sure you find Badger when I'm not there and then close the game.
The great thing is, I'd love to think that we find Badger. We just find Badger by going like one screen to the right and he's there.
Yeah, dude, it wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me. It turns out there's a pathway I didn't see, and you click it, and off you fucking go. This is back in the Pentium 1 days, by the way.
5 minutes in, we found Badger within 5 minutes of the game starts. Like, what are you putting from Skazz? This is easy.
Yeah, probably.
Half hour later, the game's complete. It's like, what's your issue, Skazz?
Ah. There you go. Badgers still aren't real.
You're just not elite like us. That's the trouble is.
Mate, Badgers ain't real. Fucking elite, dude. I'll whoop your ass.
Animals of Farthing Wood.
Yeah, fucking mate. I'll hand it to you. I don't have elite skills when it comes to Animals of Farthing Wood. It's soul crushing. It's haunted me for decades. Again, Badgers aren't real. It's not real. Anyone that tells you a badge is a thing, fucking lying to you. Lying to you. They made that animal up.
Let's see if Animals of Farthing Wood's got to be on some streaming service.
Fucking fake.
British Animals. Oh no, is it not on a streaming service? Is it on Amazon? Oh no, that's the books.
You could read it, I suppose, Ram. You could read the death of your favourite characters. Yeah, profound sadness trying to find that one. God, that's an ancient show, though, isn't it?
It's on Amazon, right? Okay, it's on Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But only from season 2 onwards?
No, season 1, season 2, and season 3 are on Amazon, right? £21.
Yeah, it sounds about normal these days.
How many episodes is in that? 13 episodes.
It's not a huge series. That's the crazy thing. When I looked up the other week, well, a couple months back now, I was adamant when I was a kid that was a massive series and it went on for a bajillion years. It didn't. It was,
But the thing is, because time seems to take a long time to go past, 13 episodes is like an eternity.
Well, you're supposed to, because you're only watching it once a week, aren't you? Usually. Yeah. Like, you'll watch it on the weekend in the mornings or some gumph like that. So you have to sit there for like 50 years to get to your next fucking episode. And by that time, a million other things has happened, so...
I have to say, this is something that I quite appreciate about Apple TV stuff, is that they now release all their content weekly, episodically. And
yeah, so you actually have to sit and wait for it.
Yeah, and I tell you what, actually, that's brought back a lot of, for new series anyway, that's actually brought quite a lot of like enjoyment back to watching it, because you get to sort of like look forward to the next episode. So, like Severance Season 2, Silo Season 2, Yeah, well, every single week. That was like really. Basically, they was on a Friday. They released the latest episode, Silo. Then as soon as Silo finished, they then had the last day Silo finished. They had the first episode of Severance on. So for like 20 weeks, every Friday, I was like, I'm looking forward to my next episode. That was really enjoyable.
Sometimes it is. Other times it really frustrates you because like, fuck, man, I want to know what happens next. But then it builds up conversation. You've got that anticipation. That is something we have lost.
I think
with streaming and modern media.
I think it's definitely a case with. I don't mind binge watching something that's finished. You know what I mean? It's like it's been and gone and finished. I don't mind binge watching stuff because I think
maybe. Because by the same token, though, you tend to then watch it and forget it. You've not actually kind of locked anything into your head.
No.
You're just kind of going through the motion. Just episode. It's over.
It almost becomes sort of background noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have to actually wait for it, you're like, I want to watch this. I'm looking forward to it. I want to watch it. I'm excited for this thing. Here's my idea. Here's my theory. Here's what I hope happens. Does it happen? Excitement builds up. When you binge it, you don't have any of that happen.
I do like going on the subreddits and watching people's crazy theories and how batshit insane some people go with theories. Like there was some people in Severance season 2. Some people generally believe some of the characters were goats, and it's a long story, and people just got absolutely insane about the whole situation. It was just so, and then when people got their theories joshed, as it were. It was sort of like, oh, I've heard it. Although my favourite is Severance. At the end of every episode, they had like a making of documentary.
That's neat.
It is neat, and there is without spoiling Severance season 2, there's a twist that happens in episode 4 involving one of the characters that they say, well, we really like this twist. It's really good. What we're thinking to be nice is that people go back to will not have seen it coming, but they're about to go back to the earlier episodes and could see the subtle hints. That doesn't work.
I always see the subtle hints. That's the problem.
That's the problem. Season 1, episode 1. Sorry, season 2, episode 1. People were already saying, "Yep, that's the twist that's going to come." I think this is because look at the way they did this, the way they did that, the way they did this. And it's like hints and stuff. I was like, yeah, that didn't age well, did it? Because obviously it was pre-recorded, so I just let them all say, "Yeah, we basically people won't see it coming." It's like we all saw it coming.
Yeah, but that's kind of the problem though, because we've watched so much media. There's the problem when I watch anything with the wife. Like we've watched so much stuff. Nothing's new. We've seen all of these beats happen before. It's like, yeah, that's going to happen.
And to be fair, the other trouble is when it comes to like TV series and stuff like that, is particularly in like forums now. It's not like you're like a group of friends who meet up and discuss it because it's a big forum. You've got this massive. Basically, you can just basically brute force the solutions.
Actually, I understand where you're going with that, but I don't ever do that because I don't go onto fan sites because I don't want to ruin it. I'm good enough at ruining it for myself.
I do enjoy reading people's discussions and thoughts and so forth because often they'll be insightful things that I never thought about. So I thought, oh, actually, that's quite interesting. Or that's why I do enjoy reading discussions. The ones that are dangerous is Silo, because Silo is based on a book series, and they have on their forums they have a very strict. On each so you have to when you put on the like your like any sort of subject you put on there, you have to specify if you're talking about the book or the TV show because the TV show is behind the book, and they have a rule that you can't discuss if you're discussing something that's happened in the TV show, you can't discuss the books because that's spoils and pains. So that they enforce that pretty heavily. That works quite well, and they'll also have like every episode there'll be an episode when the episode comes out they just have a thread for book discussion people who've read the books and a thread for people who haven't read the books so that you can go make sure you go and it's really highly highlighted so you can go into the correct one. So if you watch a TV show who haven't read the books, you can go to the TV show and enjoy the discussions and people come and go, I love all your thoughts, I can't wait to the next series and you see what happens because I love all the thoughts in here. And they won't spoil. They're very respectful about not spoiling anything. Obviously, you get the odd person who's a bit of a dick. Sure. They're pretty good about not spoiling. Yeah, it is. Pretty good about not spoiling anything and stuff. That was really interesting to people's theories and stuff. Listen to people to moan and stuff. And of course, you get the people going, yeah, the books are better for this. Sure.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. That's that's a show I binned off in like 2 episodes. I couldn't. I just couldn't.
I enjoyed Silo. I binged through the first season because it had already come out, and I binged on like couple of days.
Yeah.
And then I obviously watched the weekly for the second season.
We were watching as is for the first one. The wife quite enjoyed it. I just couldn't. I just didn't. That just didn't sit with me. I didn't really care much for it. Yeah, I can't. I've just gone lost what I was going to say. Just like the whole idea of binging TV. That was the other thing, really. But the ability to binge and all of the different choices now. I struggle. I struggle to watch TV. Because it only has to be like a 15-minute thing. I just can't seem to lock into one thing anymore. My attention span has been completely destroyed.
Yeah. I suspect a lot of people have that issue because mobile phones, you know, pet peeve is when you're watching like a film or something and you're watching somebody who sat there with their phone out while they're watching it, and then halfway through they'll ask you a question that was been answered in the film that if they weren't sat there staring at their phone they'd have the answer to. They ask you a question like, why did so
that drives me mental.
I just don't tell them the answer.
I can't fucking stand it. Yeah. The idea that there's a TV show on or a fucking film, right? It's the same as if you ever go out for a meal or dinner, right? If you go anywhere near that fucking phone without clearing it with everyone else first, you're fucking paying. Right? if you're fucking looking at your phone when we're watching a fucking film or a TV show, for whatever reason, if that TV show or film becomes background noise, turn it the fuck off.
Agreed.
Flat out. If anyone else has to hear it, turn it off.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
It drives me mental.
I actually think that the binging culture encourages that because binging culture forces things to become background.
Well, I think most things are actually designed to be background noise now. I don't really think that a lot of these companies actually give a shit about giving you a quality product. It's just like, well, we know that they're going to fucking have it on in the background. Yeah. So who gives a shit?
Yeah, I mean, some people it's better. I mean, talking of quality products, actually, a show I recently watched on Netflix was The Residence. And that is really good. It depends if you're into like murder mystery type things, like Agatha Christie type murder mysteries. Residence it only came out I think a couple of weeks ago, and that's one of Netflix has released the whole thing in one go type jobs. And it's got one of the main. This basically set in the White House, in the residence of the White House where the president lives.
Oh no, I know that one. It's got the lassie from. She's been in a couple of films of late. One about the drugs industry, or a TV show about the. What was that drug that fucking swept America a few years? Decades back.
Bath salts?
The oxycodone thing, the oxy stuff.
Right, yeah.
She was in that. And then she was in Orange Was the New Black, and it's the same one that's in this.
I didn't recognise her, to be honest with you. I did recognise Gus from Breaking Bad.
That is the one. That is the one. Same lassie. She's fucking fantastic in near enough everything I've seen her in.
She's really good in this as well. She plays a bird-watching detective who winds up well. She's constantly uses bird analogies, or she'll go off like whilst in the middle of doing the murder investigation, she'll just wander outside to go look for some birds. It's really good. Yeah. It's I think it's 8 or 10 part series. It's really good. I literally I started watching it on like Saturday, and I was hooked. Every episode, no defense on the screen. I was watching every episode. I want to know all the clues and so forth. And I was, if it wasn't the fact that I had to go to sleep, that I didn't complete it in one sitting because I was that enjoying it. Sometimes I do get a show where I'm so locked in, I will just sit there and I'll watch the whole thing all the way through until literally it's like I either fall asleep, I have to stop to go to sleep, or I finish it, one or the other. That's one of the few times.
One or the other.
Sometimes one happens over you fall asleep, you think, oh, I better rewind and find out what happened because I fell asleep at that point and not forgot. You went like, he's the murderer? What?
Oh my god!
Where did I miss all the clues? Oh, they're the 2 episodes I slept through.
Oh, whoops! Yeah, that's probably actually another reason why I can't watch shows like that. Because if I'm watching them in the house, if it's something that the wife's watching, like if I have to do anything for a period of time, and she's bored, she'll watch an episode or two.
Yeah.
Or if she dozes off, I was like, I ain't catching up. I ain't wasting my time catching up. Like if I skip behind a couple of episodes, like fuck it, I ain't bothering.
That's the sort of thing that if like you're both interested, you have to like almost like agree to sit down and watch it together. Like as a family, we watched
ultimate betrayal.
Yeah, well, as a family, we agreed to watch The Mandalorian together.
Yeah.
And so we sat down and watched The Mandalorian, and every week we'll do a thing. I won't lie, I did break the agreement with the Fallout TV show, because I was like, they were like watching one episode at a time. I was like, I really want to see what happens, and they're like, oh, we're going to go away for a couple of weeks. Like, ugh. So I watched them all, and then I watched them with the family anyway, and just pretend I hadn't seen them.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Sure. It's just sat there going, oh, look, oh.
Yeah. It's like, what do you think is going to happen? I wonder if it's going to happen. I said, I think this is going to happen. Do you? Yeah, I think that's going to happen. You're right. I was like, I know. I'm that
You're a fucking genius, Ram.
Keep it under your hat. Keep it under your hat.
No, so I remember watching a series with the wife years ago. So when we started it, I'd already watched 75 episodes of it before the wife started watching it.
Yeah.
And so then she got into it. We watched all the first like 75 episodes, and I go, right, this is as far as I've ever gone. I've never watched it any further than this, and I've only ever watched it in Japanese audio with subtitles. I've never watched the dub. All right? We're watching the dub. 76, 77, 78, we're going through. Fantastic. And then the season finishes, like it goes into like a second full season, so they give it a subtitle for the next thing. Watch a few episodes of that. Fantastic. It's still going. And then out of nowhere, I had to do something. And then the next thing I know, the wife is like fucking 30 episodes ahead of me. And I was like, dude, so I was like, right, she's gone away on holiday. I will sit and I will binge this motherfucker to try and catch up. And I just had to give up. I was like, no, I can't. And so she started watching it again while she was away. I was like, dude, fuck this. In the bin it goes. I'm never finishing this.
Yeah, that's sad.
TV can suck my nugs.
If you're going to do that, at least lie to the person, pretend you haven't watched it.
It's difficult to watch TV in this house, so I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't. But like I said, I struggle now to watch TV shows I actually enjoy, that I even enjoy, which is kind of sad, really.
Other people have ruined them for you.
Yeah, kind of. But I have that with a lot of stuff, games, music, TV. It's just so I just kind of like if I'm not sat in my little bubble. If I go online and if someone sends me a trailer to a game, it's like, dude, don't, because if I start picking up key plot points this early, it's fucked. You know, if you guys start telling me about XYZ thing, it's like it's over. Like, don't do it. And I just no. That was actually part of the problem we had with Monster Hunter, because we played the Monster Hunter beta. My mate Divine got me into the Monster Hunter beta, and the beta was good. Oh, it was good. The trouble was, the beta takes place about 8 hours after the start of the game.
Yeah, you said this when we discussed Monster Hunter the other week.
And it's just, oh no. So it just fucking ruined it, man. Just don't do it to me. Just don't.
That's sad. That's sad to hear.
Another reason why I hate gaming. So, Nicktopia.
Yeah, Nicktopia. So basically, I've been playing a game called Stranded: Alien Dawn. And perhaps the best way I can describe it, it's a bit like RimWorld. But it's like 3D, not 2D graphics in RimWorld, a bit more smaller scale. And so there's several modes actually you can play when you start the game. You basically, it's a survival game, but it's like a strategy style survival game.
All right.
It's a bit like playing The Sims, but if The Sims were stranded on an alien planet with things that wanted to kill them. So,
all right.
So you start...
It's a bit like The Sims, but you're all going to die. So, all right.
To be fair, dying in The Sims is quite a common thing as well.
Yeah, but that's only because you've got a complete psychopath in control.
It's true. And to be fair,
Sims 1 and 2 now available on Steam.
Oh, there you go.
Because EA can't make a good game to save their lives. They have to recycle all the old stuff.
See, I always like the classic Sims games.
Sims 1 was great. Sims 2 was great. Sims 3 was waffly.
Classic Sims compared to later Sims, I just felt more enjoyable. Anyway, Alien Dawn. So basically, there's several game modes you can start with. The base one is crash landing, where the story is you are on a ship that was going past a planet and had an accident. You had to evacuate an escape pod, and you start with up to 4 survivors landing on the planet. The survivors aren't I think, of course, whilst I played RimWorld, I believe the survivors in RimWorld were all randomly generated. This one, they're not. Each survivor is actually like a specific character in class, and you have to pick 4 of them at the start. And they'll all have backstories. They'll all have like that tie in. So, for example, one of my guys was called Connor, and he was a bodyguard who's also like cyborg. So he had like an eye implant, which meant he got better. He was a better like sniping and stuff. Downside was it was a constant. It would never work properly, so it would give him migraines every now and again, and it was got infected as well. So he's constantly fighting off an infection in it. So the whole game, while he's in occasionally he comes over a migraine and it would cause him pain and make him really unhappy. You've got other characters who like a scientist. You've got characters who are like good at crafting and stuff. So you pick your 4 survivors, and the game starts, and it starts a bit like typical. You basically have nothing. You start with the basic resources. All you've got is a crash pod which you can salvage for goods, and there's like the game again will give you like sort of good starting things. And initially you'll build like a little shelter. You then need to buy some beds, put your beds under the shelter, like a bed out of hay, and then you'll sleep on the beds. And eventually, over time, you'll gather more resources. You'll be able to like build like sort of stone walls, be able to build like a research desk, and begin researching stuff, researching materials, crafting desks. You know the stuff that you normally expect to find. It's that you expect to find in games: crafting and advanced crafting and tailoring to make clothes. But what I quite like about it is the game is. It's never so insanely difficult that you're like, I just don't know how I can get out of this. But at the same time, it's never really a cakewalk. It's everything's manageable, but it's always like, oh, this could go badly really quickly if I don't pay attention to what I'm doing. But it's not like you don't get into like a death spiral.
It keeps you glued to the mechanics and
yes,
the choices you make. You can't just no-brain it and just start mashing your head into the keyboard.
Yeah, I mean, once you sort of unlock,
nice.
Yeah, it's nice. And once you unlock sort of farming stuff, because everything's like a really detailed sim. So there's a yearly cycle on this planet. So you have spring, summer, autumn, winter. On this planet, which you have to then account for, because that affects everything. Because the temperatures drop, and if you temperatures drop, your crops won't grow so quick, and it may stop growing altogether. So you need to plan, like, okay, I've got to get through this winter with basically nothing. You also have things like, it's got like a nicely modelled sort of like temperature system. So once you like building buildings, you have like an inside and outside temperature if the building's sealed. And this is something that, a good example of a neat little detail was, I thought, right, I need to store produce. I need to store in a cool place. And in our world, if you don't have access to like electricity to refrigerate anything, what do? Well, you build a big room out of stone, because stone is good at thermal insulation and things tend to stay cold in it. Really good. So I built a room out of stone, and blast me, it stayed colder than the rest of the building because it was made out of stone. That little detail, they thought like thermal property, something like, okay, so I could use it as a pantry. I mean, it wasn't perfect, of course not, because it's not like there's no active cooling of it. So as the temperature went outside, it gradually got warmer, and it got points where basically it wasn't doing it at all. But it made enough difference I could like sort of like keep stuff fresh, because everything you pick up, how long it stays fresh is based on like if it's stored outside, if it's stored. So basically, things when you pick them up, how long they stay. If they are stored outside, they're stored outside under cover. If they're stored inside, if they're stored refrigerated, or they're stored frozen. So like several different levels. So you've got to plan like, okay, make sure I put storage stuff under cover so stuff will last longer. What I like about it is also the general sort of quality of life systems on it are really well thought out. So any storage area you set up, you can, to the really fine detail, decide what you can and can't store in them. So the way that's useful is like in the case of my pantry, I could say, all right, all these storage shelves is pantry. You can only store food in them, nothing else. Everywhere else, you can't store food at all. So the characters would put all the food in the pantry. And they generally will do their own thing. If you sort of set stuff up and the autonomous, they are quite autonomous and they'll do their own thing. This game is also really good at teaching you how much farmland you need to keep people alive, because you'll spend most of your little base will be farmland because you need to grow a lot of food.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it really is.
People tend to grossly underestimate how much it actually takes to keep a few people alive.
Yeah, I've got one little character called Makey, who's basically, by sheer unfortunate for her, I just decided to do the farming stuff like at the start because I need you to do farming.
Mate, back-breaking labour.
But she got really good at it, so that's all she does now. She's just my main farmer.
Wow.
I've got Raki, who's like a he's good at building things. He does like my construction, but he's also really good at research because he encountered like this alien dude guy who basically gave him superpowers, so he's really good at research now. I've got Samantha. She's also really good at research. She's also quite a good shot as well. So basically, you start small. You set up your basic camp. You then will start set up farmland. You'll start growing crops. You'll then eventually have to start building buildings, and then you can like start building beds and furniture and stuff, making the buildings sites or habitable areas. You're about to start sort of like building defenses because the aliens on the planet will attack you based on the size of your area, the size of your like camp. There'll be more aggressive species will turn up. So to build defenses for them, but I'll get into that in a second. But the overall, it's got some other sort. Again, a lot of these mechanics are very Rimworld-esque as well. To be fair, you can you have the option of like controlling everybody's schedules, so you can like set right. Okay, you basically get like a 24-hour clock. And you say, okay, during this time you sleep, this time you can do relaxation, this time you just do whatever you want, and this time you can work. So I generally have it set up where it's like a fixed sleep schedule. So I just want everybody to be asleep at the same time. It just makes it easier if they all sleep at the same time. Particularly early on, when you've got enough space, they have to share rooms and they get pissed off if people keep waking up next to them and might disturb them while they're trying to sleep. And so I enforce a strict sleep schedule. A bit of relaxation is enforced as well. You will have fun.
A bit of relaxation is enforced.
You will have fun. I insist.
Oh, Nicktopia. Man, we've missed you.
You will have fun. And yeah, after that, they can do whatever they want. And then your other option is basically you'll have a list of all the sort of general tasks like harvesting, planting, crafting. And for each character, you can like give a priority from 1 to 5 or no priority at all. You can either do simple, which is like yes or no, or you can give them like this priority level. So you'll want to like look at your character's skills, and there aren't many skills. I think there's like 6 skills. It's like combat, crafting, farming, I think intelligence. I can't remember the others, but there's like 3 skills. They all like filter down to these other ones. So you want to like again pick skills that they are sort of like tied to. So obviously Bakey's good at farming, so she does the planting and the harvesting. That's her number 1 priority. So the game, if you let it just run, that'll be her first priority of jobs to do. So as a rule, if you get it set up right, you don't have to do a lot of micromanaging. You can give them direct orders like you can, like mostly say, you will do this. Yeah. But in general, you don't have to do a lot of micromanaging, which works really, which I quite like the fact that you have to do a lot of micromanaging. It's you can sort of let it run. At the same time, you have to manage it somewhat because they are not things will start to go desperately wrong. So I got a situation where I was starting to run out of food. Basically, I had a situation what happened was, we had solar flares, which disabled all my air conditioning units, which meant all my stuff started to rot, which meant we lost a lot of our food supplies, and we went down from having like 200 meals of food available to like 30. And winter was coming. It's like, we're fucked. So everybody's like, right, everybody, out you go, let's go hunting. Let's go look at the native fauna and start just gathering and hunting everything. The fauna's quite cool, so because you're on an alien planet, you don't know what anything is. So one of the tasks you can give people, which I find really amusing, is called observation. So you can like click on a tree and go observe the tree, and your character will go there and the character will go and just stare at the tree for like a day, and they'll go, yep, it's a tree, but we can get wood from this. And
you're like, no way, dude.
But the advantage is if they stare at the tree, you can then plant it. Whereas normally you can harvest it anyway. You can harvest all the goods anyway, and you'll get the resources, but you can't plant them until you've observed them. And so like my plant so I've now discovered a plant that will basically give out silicone. Don't ask how that works.
Yeah. Question. Is that how farming works in real life?
Yes, 100% accurate. As part, when I was at college doing my farming degree, we didn't have a textbook. So all we did was had to go stare at a cow for a day. And then we knew
then you knew how to make more cows.
Yes, exactly. Awesome. That is exactly how it works.
You knew how to get everything out of a cow, and awesome.
Yeah. Somehow
research tree complete.
Yeah. Every practical was stare at something. I mean, staring at wheat for 9 hours is bloody boring, I tell you. But you know, you have to.
But
if
you
want
love
to
everything
stare.
about it.
But yeah, you have to if you want to do anything. So yeah, once you've observed something, you can then like plant it. So that's the unlock stuff of planting, and then of course you can grow it, which is very important to survive or you die. Don't do what I did, which was like harvest everything, so we've got plenty of food, and then realise because I've harvested, I've got nothing to observe, so I can't plant anymore. So I'm like, right. Searching everywhere. There it is. There's a berry plant over there in the far corner of the map. Now, I want you to go there, Survivor. I don't want you to harvest it. I want you to stare at it so we know we can plant it.
Dude, what's really funny is it turns out you've just turned up, you've just strip mined everything.
Of course I have. I did.
You've stripped the area of resources.
Yes.
And you're like, well, I'm fucked now.
Yeah. This is a microcosm of humanity's hubris in one little game.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So strip my resource off. So got all done. But yeah, once
How
you've
hard could it be?
yeah. So you can plant, and once you plant, then your characters, and you can also fertilize. So you can also observe like the native life as well. And if you observe it enough and you learn about it, you can then start actually taming it. So you can like start like beginning animal husbandry and ranching and stuff, which is quite neat. So you can have actual farms. So I've managed to train what looks like a giant like space cow. But it's just all, at the moment, I can't bring myself to kill it because it's my first one I tamed. And as to help that Makey, my farmer, has formed a bond with it, which I think is not a good thing to do in the situation because I'm not sure she'll feel well when we have to butcher it at some point, which I'm sure we will. I had this issue in Windweld. I had 3 llamas and we were starving. I had to kill one of the llamas. I think I rolled a dice to tell which llama I was going to kill because we were afraid he was going to die. And I had to send one of my cows out to butcher. And I think one of the other cows got upset, if I remember correctly.
Mate.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Mate.
Yeah. But
to be fair, actually, you do the same kind of thing that I do. Well, that was my first one. I've got to keep that.
Yeah, exactly. You don't kill your first one. That's like the sort of one that starts it all. You let them have a nice natural life. And then...
Yeah, that's why I kept my first character in Hunt Showdown.
Yeah, you don't want to... Yeah, that's the same. I'm not going to deal... I'm going to like let you just stay there. I'm not going to touch you anymore.
You're retired, my brother. You stay there.
Yeah. Yeah, all the rest though are just replaceable. It's like Children. The first one is special, but the rest you don't give a shit about.
Cannon fodder, mate.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll you start building buildings. You can also like do multi-story buildings, which is quite nice. The building system is actually really neat. It's really in depth. So you can you can either like build a room, and it'll just do all the structure for you need, or you can like do a foundation, do the walls, do the ceiling, and then the roof. Because ceiling roofs are different. So you can but you don't have to put a roof on. So I've got like one building that's got a flat roof. I've got covered in solar panels, and I've also got because also once you start to resetting electricity, which you need to do fairly rapidly, because then you can like sort of instead of a load of like wood torch stuff. Another neat thing about the game is that how it like handles like heat and stuff. So if you have a like heat source in a room, it will gradually propagate to other rooms depending on how the installation is, and you can put vents in the walls so that makes it easier for it to do. So you can have like a room and try and keep like when you I can afford to build one furnace. The best I can do, guys, is to get your rooms about 1 degree instead of like minus temperatures. That's the best I can do. I'm sorry. Until we get more metal, I can build another furnace to keep us warm. That you're just going to have to live with that. Like everything your survivors has will deteriorate. So the clothing, the weapons will gradually deteriorate over time. So I wasn't paying attention to this, and eventually found my survivors were mostly naked, wandering about because they basically had all their clothes had just fallen to pieces. Like, okay, I better start researching clothes now. So I started reset. Luckily, I found some plants that make like a leather type material, but it's bright purple. So now my characters are walking around in like this bright purple leather stuff. But hey, I can farm it. It's easy, so it's not
whatever floats your boat, mate.
Yeah, I'm basically very Neil at the moment. The other thing you need to worry about is with all like electricity, you actually like put like power pylons up as well. You can build batteries to store power because obviously solar wind works most of the time, but solar doesn't work overnight.
No way.
Yes, it's annoying. So you have to like plan that out. So you need to build batteries. You can also the other thing you need to worry about is your defense of your base, and this is quite neat. So your base will come under attack from animals. Simply because you're there and they feel good resources, and the bigger your base gets, the more bigger the attacks will be, so you have to fend them off. Now what's quite neat is the game has got some basic logic built in where they will always not always, but in general they will try and you basically, when you build a wall, you can put either like a small gate in it or big gate in it. The attacking animals will always try and go through the big gates. They'll walk around your whole base to go through the big gate, which means to a certain degree you can control where they're going to come in. You don't have to
and
worry.
You can like tower defense it kind of thing.
Exactly. So you can build a defense. You can put like traps in there as well, which will immobilize them. You can set up like sentry guns that will just engage them automatically, but they use a hell of power. A sentry gun uses like 50 power. A wind turbine produces like 20. So if you leave your sentry guns running, they'll just kill your power, but you can switch them on or off. Now, actually, fact, the combat is actually very interestingly done. So how combat works is your characters by default will flee. If they get attacked, they'll flee. They'll run away, unless you draft them, which basically literally means you select them and you click the button that says draft, and then basically at that point you're basically on like a real-time strategy mode where you can direct them around. They can't interact with anything apart from a few things like gates and sentry guns and stuff. Stuff related to defense they can interact with. They can't like go cooking or farming and stuff. They are literally in that mode. But you can. But when you switch to that mode, it also shows you like their range, so you'll be able to see how far they can shoot, how far they can hit things. So you'll basically have control of them like a sentry. So whenever there's a combat, I'd have Connor, my sniper, because I found very early on a pulse rifle from one of the ships. So I gave him that because he's not my best shot. And I basically built this. You have like fences and you have fortifications. Fortifications are twice as high. Fences, characters can shoot over. But fortifications they can't because they're too tall. But you can put towers in, which your characters can climb up to. So my standard process, I build like a gateway with like a long trench in the middle, 2 towers either side. 2 characters go up, and they basically have then the option of doing the ranged attacks, and the rest of the guys will basically almost like sit in the sort of like channel and gradually fall back as the animals advance and get hit. Build up sentries as well around them, and you basically create, like as you say, a tower defense type situation, which is really fun and neat. Watching the enemies come in and get mobilized and you sort of flamethrower them and stuff. And the game encourages you to like build traps and stuff. Encourages you to do like sort of like create convoluted routes and stuff. It works, and it works really well. So combat's really good fun. And it works better, I think, than like other games, John, because it's like a distinct combat mode. It gives you more finer control over it than like normal games where it's like, oh, interact with this, interact with that. You have a little bit more control. The other sort, so the other thing your characters do, there's also like injury system is quite detailed. So all parts of your body of character can get injured and so forth and will need to be treated. If the other characters will automatically like go, and if they need treatment, go lay down in bed. And other characters will then go heal them. Obviously, they can get infections from attacks and so forth. Early on in my first year, a lot of my characters got pneumonia, but they all gradually got over and got immunity to it. So then it was permanent buff that they were immune to pneumonia, which is quite sort of neat sort of system. But some other characters, poor Connor, bless him, he constantly got migraines from his eye implants, and there's nothing I could do about him. It's just every so often he'd get quite migraine and he'd be a bit miserable.
Well, that's what he gets.
For having an eye implant, yeah.
Yeah.
So characters, that brings me on to actually sort of, perhaps the only thing I find slightly annoying is all your characters have like a happiness score, which is how happy they are. And
no way.
Yeah. And if the score goes below 20%, they are at risk of, I just love this, a meltdown, which makes them sound like toddlers. But and
no, that's most people around or under the age of 50 at this point.
Yeah, and they will, and basically how at risk they are, and so many little factors like play up. So things like, do they sleep in their own bedroom? If they're not, do they get disturbed? They get like a -3 net debuff every time someone disturbs them while they're asleep. So one of my characters once got -18 because they got disturbed 6 times. Was it -12? Something like that, was disturbed so many times by being woken up. So that's why I quickly made their own rooms, so that you can
relate.
Yeah, and relate. Yeah. And basically, eventually, if they have a meltdown and they have effects are all fairly random, they can like go just sort of like wander about sadly somewhere. They can just burst out into tears. They can have the annoying one. There's 2 annoying ones: food binge, which is annoying because like I ain't got a lot of food and you're eating fucking everything. Stop. Or there's like berserk, where you start going beating things up.
And relate.
But my real issue was if Samantha was a tank. she could take out anybody, or she can take out anybody. Like, so, like, when Connor went a bit berserk, I just sent some out, she went and knocked him out for me and took him up to bed to rest and, like, get over it. Just like real life. Trouble is, she's such a tank. When she went berserk, no one could knock her out.
Yeah, when she went berserk, Connor was like, fuck that shit,
I sent
man.
Connor to knock her out. He went to knock her out. She just punched him and knocked him out instead. So I know it's like, okay, well, she can't roll natural 20 on all of these. I'll send all the other guys I've got. And as well as that, I ended up with my 4 survivors, 3 on the ground unconscious, and 1 going around beating everything up.
I just had this vision. I thought you were then about to say, yeah, the little dainty, you know, just fucking went and and got the old hoe out and just cracked that one.
No, all unconscious, like, oh dear, that didn't work. We'll just have to let. So now if Samantha has that sort of meltdown, we just leave her to it. It's like,
no, just leave her to it like a child.
It's like, she'll get over it eventually. If we just leave
Just shut the door, put your headphones on, put some classical on. Yeah, man, the world around you is burning, but it's all good.
She'll get over it eventually. It's fine. She'll be all right, and then we can repair things afterwards. You know, Rack is good at repairing stuff. He can go around. He can fix everything for us, which works.
Yeah, tyrant, mate.
It's the easiest way, to be honest. Bless
Can
her.
relate.
Yeah, bless her. She does have a lot of meltdowns. Bless her.
I'd have shot her.
No, because you only got because that's what I mean to like the small scales. Like for the most part, I've only had 4 survivors. At some point, you unlock expeditions, which basically you can build a balloon, and you can use a balloon. Once you've got that, you can like go on expeditions to other parts of the like map, like long distance away. So you can like look for like crashed ship debris, escape pods, that sort of thing. You might find other survivors and stuff. So I sent off Samantha to find other survivors. She came back with Ember, who she found. I had 5 people now. Ember's also a really good shot, but unfortunately I've only got crossbows, so she has to just make do with that. Because I've already given Samantha the pistol and Connor's got the main gun. I felt me taking them off them. So Ember's like, so I got up to 5. And then one day, all of a sudden, notification, Connor is dead. What? Why is Connor dead? And I looked, and his eye implant had gone infection.
Yeah, I was about to say his eye's gone,
and it killed him. So, and being like a Rimworld-esque thing, so I clicked on Connor's dead body, and the options I had were like, you know, cancel, bury him, or butcher. I was like, no, Connor, I can't butcher you. We're not quite that bad yet. We have got food. We're not quite that desperate yet. So I built Connor a grave.
Clicks on Connor. Observe. I can make another one.
Unfortunately, you can observe the dead insects that you kill when they attack you, because you can observe and go, these are dangerous. And so there's other like games got little like events in it. So for example, when the first time that your guys after a couple of nights of surviving, Connor will say, hey, look, we've literally been in like 2 days. We've made it 2 days. That's pretty good. Let's have a little celebration tonight, you know, to like bring the mood up. And you can say yes, and everybody will gather around the camp. You pick the time, everybody gathers around the campfire, and they will have a little celebration and say, yeah, we made it. They used to do it at New Year's Eve. So at New Year's Eve, you can choose. You can always say no, but at New Year's Eve, they can basically they'll all go out on New Year's Eve, like just for the New Year, and they'll launch fireworks off, and you'll just get this little like New Year's display, which is quite neat. But in this case, it's like we want to mourn the passing of Connor. It's like, okay, so they all gathered around his grave, had a bit of a cry and a bit of a sad, and mourned his passing, and they put his grave. At that point, we always put the grave on the map backwards, so it was like the wrong way around. But we'll worry about that. You can't move graves. You can move other things. That's a nice little neat feature. Talking about little quality lives. In most games, if you want to say have your move your wind turbine farm, you'd have to basically build new ones and deconstruct the old ones. This one, there's an option to move things. You can say, I want to move it here. They'll just go dismantle it, take it, then rebuild it again. That is something you don't see a lot of these sorts of games, and that's like such an enjoyable feature.
Handy.
Very, very handy. So it means you don't have to worry about wasting resources and so forth, because normally there's a resource penalty. And it makes sense. You just move the darn thing. What do you mean I can't move the table? Well, yeah, move the fucking table.
But I can't.
Yeah. So, yeah, sad times. Connor was my main chef. He was really good at cooking. shooting things and cooking he was really good at, and he's unfortunately gone. So the because the things that people get upset about, like things like the variety of meals, there's not a variety of meals. I get upset. Samantha's a bit annoying actually. Samantha's a bit annoying. She's vegetarian, which means she won't eat any of the meat. So all the meat I catch, like, I won't eat that. It's like, well, you're going to starve then. I'm sorry. But you know,
let her be. Let her be. Oh,
so,
I love that game. I'm going to have to play it.
I was going to say, like, Samantha, come on. Like, you know, this is survival situations. You know, put your morals aside, eat the insect leg. You know, just don't move. Like, this is not the time to be worrying about this sort of thing. But no, she unfortunately is like, no, I won't eat that. It's like, oh.
Well, she'll be the next that's dead then. Well, temper tantrum having little bitch.
Yeah. I'm not, yeah. But I'll tell you what, she does well on it. She managed to knock everybody else out. It's the power of veganism, apparently.
Oh, shit.
But yeah, you can also, like, you can like really find deal, like, if you could begin for what some characters will and won't eat. Like, say, don't eat this, don't eat that. Mainly the users have been eating raw food, because the raw food generally gives them food poisoning, but they will if they're desperate. If you switch off, they can't do it. It is, honestly, I've had so much fun. It's very much it's in the category of games that I can't wait to load it up and just do some more and just gradually things like.
It's funny, you've found quite a few of those, but the best part about it is, and I'm not trying to take the piss here, the best part about it is, none of them are in the AAA space, and none of them require computers like what we have.
No.
You and me.
No.
Like, all of the games we've enjoyed, I've looked at the stuff, like, specs-wise, and say, do we even... Look, what the fuck have I got this for?
Yeah.
I can play this on a 486.
Yeah.
But if the system requirements are close to modern-day current hardware, well, that's going to be shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love it. What I think what I enjoy most is that it's never created situations that are not manageable.
Mm-hmm.
There's never like, well, I guess my civilization is going to die now, and I can either sit here and watch it whistle away, because there's no chance, no way I can save it. I can either sit and watch it waste away, or I can just quit the game and start again, or load another save. It's never created those situations where, like, I feel like I can't manage anything. Don't forget, it gets tough. It's like, okay, we're short on food. Let's go find more food. Let's go for this. It's tough, but it's never. It never feels like it's because that's my sort of criticism with, like, sort of like, I've not got to the stage yet where, like, it's gone easy with, like, sort of the farming stuff. That's what my criticism. I've always had, like, survival games where they start off really tough, but pretty quickly, once you, like, get better technology and stuff, it basically becomes just a cakewalk, because
it's a joke.
Yeah, you don't feel under threat or anything, because it's just like, usually because they're like, oh, well, we better give you plenty of resources at the start, because you're going to need those, you know, to build stuff and stuff, keep you going and stuff. But later on, it's like, well, I can farm a bazillion of these resources now, so I've got no worries at all. And things like food and hunger have become irrelevant. This game is still like, I'm sure there will be a tipping point. I would imagine there will be. So it's done quite a good job of preventing me reach a tipping point, but not got so bad as like, oh, I'm fucked.
Yeah,
I did have an issue with. I've had a couple like issues. First one I had was I dug up all the blade grass, which produces hay, and a lot of stuff you need to build needs hay, and I basically ran out and had no more. And because I just dug it up and not observed it, I couldn't plant it. So I was like,
silly bastard. Always look at things before you do them in.
Yeah, well, I managed to find another little patch somewhere, so I've now got a hay field.
So what you're suggesting is, if you want to win at this game, just look at everything first.
Yes.
Have a couple of days where all you do is just look at stuff.
Well, you still need to harvest. Don't harvest everything until you've looked at leave at least one specimen behind to look at. Don't harvest everything. The other time I had was I had a lot of issue with silicone. You need silicone to build electronics and CPUs, and a lot more advanced game requires a CPU, and I didn't have any. So it's like, okay, what do I do now? Okay, I better go. I better sort of explore. I managed to find some more silicone ore here. I eventually found a plant that makes silicone, which I immediately observed and now growing, which is handy. Actually, I tell you, the crafting system's got quite a nice feature to it. At least what I can see is that you don't have, like in traditional crafting games. You basically have a crafting coup that you set up this coup and they just build it, and once it's built, it's complete. It's off the coup. It's gone. In this, that doesn't happen. You add them to the coup, so there is like a hierarchy. However, basically what you set is like the limit to how many of these you want. And if, say, for example, you want 4 pairs of boots, they'll craft 4 pairs of boots. And then that crafting number will stay there. But as soon as one of those pair of boots get destroyed, now you've gone below 4. Next time someone goes, they'll craft another one to play top up. So you're sitting like,
right, that's neat.
So yeah, you're sort of more saying limits rather than, and there's options. You can always just
There's
do
more
like,
stocks.
yes. You like, well,
You've just set up. I want stock. You've set up stocks. You have to set up stocks. I always want 4 pairs of usable boots.
Yeah.
I want however many meals. I want however many whatever.
Yes.
And once one is gone, make another one.
Yeah, there are different options when you do the crafting. You can like set it to like just craft continuously. You can set it to like craft a set amount and stop. But that limit is really useful because basically you can almost like set it and forget it. And but I didn't realise that for so long. I didn't realise that's how it worked. I was going to say, why does it keep saying limit reached? Why does it keep giving this error message? So I was like, I want you to craft more. It's like, oh, limit reached, as in it won't make any more because it doesn't need you. It doesn't think you want to. So that's very helpful. What I'm desperate to find though, which I haven't found yet, is grain, because I need grain to make antibiotics. And at the moment, when everyone catches anything that's infectious, I just sort of hope that they can survive. Or I've occasionally, because you'll get like spaceship parts will occasionally rain down as they deorbit. And spaceship parts, you can, first of all, you can scavenge, and then you salvage. And scavenging is you'll find useful parts. So you just got to hope you find like first aid kits, because first aid kits can carry everything. Perhaps you'll find something useful. Occasionally you'll find some gear, some guns, etc. And once you've scavenged it, you can then salvage it, and that's when you pull the metal away and so forth. All the plant crops as well, they require like specific areas. Like plants will have like variable terrain types, so when you go up, they'll show like a grid of what types they'd like to look. So you can't just plant them. You could plant them anywhere, but you'd be stupid to. You've got to plant them in like sort of certain areas. It's just so fun, and it's very much a game where like a bit like Timberborn, where I had little projects. Like I want to build this. That's my next little project. So I'm now moving my main building. So I built my main building just to sort of have somewhere, but that's actually on quite good farmland. Well, I've got an area which I can't basically plant anything in. So I'm now moving the main building across, but I'm being a bit cautious about it because I don't want to, because it has to be constructed. I don't want anybody like sitting outside for like a week while it's built. So I'm gonna I want to build and deconstruct everything else afterwards. I'm gradually building like a whole little homestead. It's gonna have like the house in the middle surrounded by fields. It's a really neat game. It's actually quite, apart from when the plant animals start getting aggressive, it's very chill as a rule. So again, it's manageable, so it's never like really ultra stressful, but it's enough that you can just sort of chill and relax while you're doing it. So it's great in that regard as well. It's really good. I'm really pleased I picked it up. It was one of those, my little Hummer Bundle ones, and it's like, this is a great little freebie. I'm really pleased with this. Can't wait to play it some more and build up and see if I can make Nicktopia 13. I think I'm on now. That's a good number.
You want to make a functional Nicktopia this time, man?
I'm getting there. I had a functional Nicktopia city in the end. It took 5, but I got there in the end. I want to make this one functional as well. I want to get to the stage where, like, because I think the general overall objective is to escape the planet, and I would like to try and escape and hopefully not leave too many survivors behind, because that'd be sad. We've already lost Connor and the little graveyard. I'm going to have to build the graveyard out. I'm going to have to build like a little nicer area for the graveyard because I feel a bit where he's at the moment. He's a little bit. I sort of put him behind the house like a dog. And
this is not bad.
It's like, that's a bit disrespectful. So I'm gonna like spend some resources and like pretty it up a little bit and have like a proper little graveyard area, because I'm probably gonna need some more at some point. You can spot.
And it turns out that after a little while, you can actually get a decent resource out of it.
Yeah, it's after something you get bone meal or something after it. You can also put animals in graves. So if you can have pets, you can put them in graves as well, which is quite neat. Oh, sad. But a really good game, so yeah, recommend it.
Fantastic.
Cool. Right, I suppose we better finish up for the evening because it's now 9:05, so we probably better finish up. I haven't had tea yet. It's great.
You fool.
Cool. So I want to say thank you both for watching us this evening. It's been a bit of a jerry-rig something, but it seems to work. Thank you for that.
I hate to say it, Ram. Every everything we do is jerry-rigged. If not on your side, then on mine.
Well, yes, I was not going to approach the elephant in the room. But I want to say thank you very much for joining us tonight. You can join us on our next podcast, which will be on he says, quickly looking at the diary, the 8th of May, 2025 at 6. Let's try this again. You can join us on our next podcast on 8th of May at 6:30 GMT +1 on 8th May 2025. You can join us for our next games night, which is on the 7th of May 2025 at approximately 8:30. Here is a how much. We will get to the top. We will get past fucking level 3.
We will.
Yeah. It's like, there's only 6 levels, Skazz. It's like, yeah, we've been playing it for like 6 sessions and we ain't got past level fucking 3.
Mate, but there's loads more gear and upgrades we can get. So
So come join us for that. So once again, thank you for watching, and I hope for me, this stuff, Graham.
Guys, yes.
We hope you have a good one.
Take it easy, guys.